Welcome, citizens of Gotham, to The Fire Rises, a Batman podcast focusing on all things The Dark Knight and the DC Universe. If you'd like to connect with the show, you can find us on Facebook, X, Threads, Blue Sky, most of the social media platforms. Just search tfrbatpod and you will find us. If you have thoughts, questions, comments, or suggestions for future episodes of the show, you can reach us by email. Just shoot those to tfrbatpod@gmail.com. My name is Eric Carter, and I am your host, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Joe Fornerato. Joe, welcome back, my friend. How are you?
What's going on, Eric?
Oh, not too much. Rocking I don't know why we do this visual stuff because nobody sees it, but you're rocking a Batman Forever shirt. So props to you.
Yeah, just a random shirt to wear on a Monday night after just got home, got showered after T-ball and all this other craziness going on.
I love it. We've got we're coming off the heels of a huge episode with our crossover for Zack Snyder's Justice League with Holy Batcast. That was so much fun. So
yeah.
So that was really cool, and a lot of people have checked it out. So it's good news. I always love it. We can pair up with those guys and have a big crossover.
Yeah, it's always fun talking with them guys, and especially with something as important as Zack Snyder's Justice League. You know, we've been talking a lot about how it felt like a big lull with what we were covering and like having things to talk about. And luckily this year, it seems like we had a little bit of a resurgence with some really fun stuff to talk about. And even now, I mean, I was looking at stuff like there's not a lot of Batman stuff in general right now to talk about other than, you know, the comics. And that's why we're covering this today.
Yeah, absolutely. And by this, Joe, means that we're diving back into Absolute Batman. So to peek behind the curtain, Joe, I don't pay a ton of attention to, you know, I don't study the downloads all the time or anything like that, but it really stood out to me that our first episode covering Absolute Batman was very popular. And it's not a surprise knowing how popular the series is, but I do want to call out this episode is actually coming from a request. So one of our listeners, Adam Luca, actually reached out to me directly via message and asked, I hope you guys do volume 2 sometime. I really would like to basically, I'd like to hear more of you guys talking about this comic, which is great. So I took that. I told Joe, hey, we've got a request for this. We tell you guys, send us suggestions. We want to know what you guys want to hear. So here we are. We're going to dive into more Absolute Batman today. But before we get there, got to tell you guys once again about our partner sponsor in organic priced books. Excuse me, back up. Panel bound comics.
That's the second time in a row.
I know. I'm out of practice. So Panel Bound Comics, formerly known as Organic Priced Books, is a small business that is dedicated to bringing the savings to you guys when it comes to things like collected editions, trade paperbacks, hardcovers, deluxe editions, absolutes, omnibus, all those crazy collected books that we love to we love to buy, put on our shelves, read, and you guys know those things can be pricey, but Panel Bound Comics is there to save you a little bit on those absorbent fees. Everything else is expensive these days, so why not save some money on those comics? They have not just the big studios like DC and Marvel, but they also have Boom Studios, IDW, Dynamite Comics, Image. If you're looking for it, they've got it. In fact, I'm pretty sure that you can get the collected edition of the book that we're talking about today. So just go there and search Absolute Batman. Use the description or go to the description in the link of this podcast. Use that link. That'll take you to Panel Bound Comics. Use our 2 promo codes there. The first, tfrbatpod. That'll save you $2 off of any order. And the second, tfrbatpod. Ship it together for 5% off of any order of 3 or more books. So go check out Panel Bound Comics, save yourself some money, and support TFR as you do so. Joe, let's get to it. Without further ado, let's dive into Absolute Batman, Volume 2, Abomination. All right, Joe. So first of all, before we dive into this, so I know you and I both enjoyed Volume One. We talked about that on a recent episode. But how about getting a suggestion for another volume of this? I mean, I'll be honest, we hear it a lot from other podcasts. Comics, as much as we love them, they don't tend to be a draw when it comes to podcast episodes. People, for whatever reason, listen to those episodes less than they do like podcasts talking about the new superhero movies or things like that. So I thought it was pretty cool that we actually got a request to cover another comic. That's awesome. I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point earlier, where you said you weren't surprised of the amount of downloads that we got for the last episode. I mean, I'm not surprised because of the popularity of the particular comic, but we've covered a lot of pretty popular comics in the past, and comics in general, like you said, don't usually drive a lot of traffic. So it's nice that, I mean, say what you will about this comic, and we're going to get into this volume 2 of this Absolute Batman here. People are loving it. It is definitely putting Batman on the map in comics right now, and not just Batman. I mean, the whole Absolute run is evidently doing really well. I
Mm-hmm.
have not read anything other than the first 2 volumes of Batman. I have not checked out any of the other Absolute line. The other thing I wanted to bring up is that, talking about panel bound comics and how this is called Absolute Batman, if they ever do an Absolute edition, it's going to be really annoying. That it's
Absolute Batman, the Absolute Edition.
Yeah, I still don't like the name. I still think Absolute Batman or the Absolute line is weird, but whatever, it is what it is. And but yeah, it's pretty crazy that, yeah, people want to hear us talk about this particular comic. We very rarely cover recent comics. I don't remember if we talked about that when we first did the first volume, but definitely both of these are the most recent storylines we've ever covered, right?
Aside from what we did, Dark Patterns recently, and that was pretty
Okay.
new.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, this is a current comic that's actively coming out,
Yeah.
and from what you were saying, I have read volumes 1 of Superman, Absolute Superman, and Absolute Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So that the first 6 issues of both of those I've read. I've enjoyed both of those, but this
Okay.
is the only one I'm current on.
Mhm.
And I'm still enjoying it. So again, I'll say what I said on the last episode. This has got me into the terrible habit of having a pull list again. So because I get these issues new as they come out, and a part of that's the Scott Snyder of it all.
Yeah.
I'm an easy lay when it comes to Scott Snyder. So, and I admit that, but lots of people are for Scott Snyder, specifically him writing Batman.
Yes.
People are rabid about this book.
Yeah.
It's wild.
I think I'd be more into it if the art style, and I say art style because I don't think the art is bad. I couldn't even tell you who the artist is, which is on me. But I don't want to say he's a bad artist. I think they're going for something, and he is doing it to the way they have planned out. It's just not my cup of tea as far as what I prefer with Batman. And we'll get into that when we start talking about the book itself and or
Mm-hmm.
this volume. Um, but yeah, I've been reading this on DC Universe Infinite. I am fine doing that at this point. I do not need to start another pull list for sure. And also I'm just kind of at the point where I don't feel like buying issues anymore, even digitally.
Yeah.
I'd rather just wait for them to come out on here. If I like them, I would prefer to just keep with my. If I really love a book, I'll get the hardcover later on.
Yeah, and I completely get that. Don't do what I do. I'm a crazy person. I mean, if you love the comic, absolutely go to your local comic shop and support it if that's the way you collect. But if you're out like I was and like Joe
Yeah,
is, don't do that. It's a bad
yeah,
habit.
I can't get back into it. I finally stopped cold turkey, and I don't want to open up that can of worms again.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I try to get out, and they pull me back in.
Yeah,
But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the book. I do want to. I know not everybody is current, or people may not have read this volume yet. So I want to be cognizant of that and just kind of give a very, very short. This is going to be really brief, guys, but just kind of a brief, spoiler free overview of your thoughts of volume two. So I know you got quite a bit of enjoyment out of the first volume, Joe. So
Yeah.
basically, how did this volume stack up for you compared to the last volume? And I will say this is spoiler free because it's in the synopsis and things like that. Everybody knows Bane is the big
Yeah.
bad of this volume. We have several other Rogues Gallery folks show up in this arc. So volume one was a lot of setup. Volume two, we're really getting into the meat of the story. So how did this compare to the first volume to you, and what are your kind of overall spoiler free thoughts on
Well,
this volume?
you took the words right out of my mouth there with the setup and the main story here. Um, I will say this story, because Bane being the main villain, it being, hit the ground running after all the setup of the first one, this got to tell more of a story with the few issues they had, as opposed to the Black Mask arc, which was doing setup and everything else on top of the Black Mask stuff. I think I enjoyed the um the more focused story this time.
Mm-hmm.
It kept my interest, I think, a little bit better. Actually, I couldn't even say that, because I think I was more curious about the setup of the first one, but now I know what to expect going into this. So, like, I guess it really had to keep my interest, because the allure of the absolute universe at this point is what it is. I'm there already. So
Mm-hmm.
there's no more, I wonder what they're going to do with this, or, I wonder what they're going to do with this. It's, this is the universe. You're going to see our version of Bane here. There's another character that's, I was surprised to see in issue one, which I don't know if that's a spoiler, but issue one is pretty much, I mean, what issue is that? 8?
7.
7? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that whole issue was going to be a separate villain,
Okay.
which was very fun for me. I went into this completely cold. I knew nothing about this arc at all. Just read it for the first time last weekend. I don't know if I could say I probably enjoyed it more because it felt like a story arc more than it's felt like setting up a universe, or it
Mm-hmm.
felt like a Elseworlds tale more than a universe spanning thing. Um, and before we get into spoilers, maybe I'll talk about this here, because I think this might be my biggest negative to the Absolute line.
Okay.
As much as I've enjoyed everything I've read, I don't find myself going, I want to keep reading this.
Okay. Interesting.
I feel like if they told me this was a limited series that's going to go 50 issues, I'd be like, all right, I can read 50 issues. I have
Mm.
no idea when this is ending. This seems like it's not ending anytime soon.
Well, based on the sales and the popularity, I don't think it's going
Yes.
anywhere.
And I don't, and 50 issues is a lot of issues. And I just
Yeah.
said I would probably do it if they were like, you know what, this is going to be a small, concise story, 50 issues. We're going to just cap it off.
How funny would it be if it went 52 issues?
52 issues, yeah. And honestly, I think that would be fine with me, because
Mm.
but I right now, like, I just finished it. I went right back to reading Daredevil the minute I finished reading this arc for this episode. And I only
Mhm.
read this probably because we were doing the episode. I would have eventually gotten to it, but I found other stuff that I'm enjoying. So I usually try not to jump around too much. But I wanted to read this because we were going to cover it. But I feel like this would be a really fun Elseworlds story that wraps up in maybe, I'd even give them the benefit of the doubt of like 3 or 4 volumes, like something, or even a little longer. I think I want a end in sight, though, when I'm reading something like this. This being
Mm.
an ongoing is very odd to me as a reader, and as someone that really, at face value, none of this sounds interesting. I still say that. None of this sounds intriguing at all to me. But when I read it, it gets me,
Mhm.
which I can't explain. I really, like, I still can't get over that. At face value, this sounds like garbage to me. It really does. but it keeps me turning the page every time. And I
Mm-hmm.
read this pretty quickly. But again, once that arc was done, it wasn't like I could not wait to get to the next one. But I think once I start reading the next one, I'll probably finish that arc pretty quickly. So I actually think that's helped me is reading the volumes together on the app.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how you feel. I think you're definitely more into it than I am. I mean, you're picking up the ongoings, so you're current, obviously.
Yeah, well,
What
semi-current.
issue are we at?
19, I think.
Oh, okay, so I'm not that far behind.
Um, it's
Is it a monthly or bi-monthly?
it's a monthly.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong on that. I don't go to my comic shop every week.
Mhm.
So I go up there. There's long story short, there's something I need to go do every other week. So
Yeah.
I go by there because my comic shop's right there every other week and drop in. So I honestly, when I go and there's a new one there, I'm not great. There's one in my pull box, but so I think it's monthly, but don't hold me to that.
Okay. And so really quick too before I forget. So like I'm interested in reading Absolute Green Lantern, Absolute Flash, Absolute Wonder Woman. I'm interested in reading all those. But the fact that it's an ongoing makes me less and less tempted to read the others because I know I'll never be able to stay current on all of them.
Oh, it's basically an entire new universe.
Yes. It's like we have the main line and then comics B. Like, and for all intents and purposes, this is almost comics A at this point because of the way it's selling.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is outselling the normal
Yeah.
DC stuff. Like
This feels like the Marvel Ultimate Universe dialed up to, 11.
Which they've relaunched.
Oh, have they? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've got Ultimates going. So, and which I think that predated the Absolute line, them starting that back up. So, but I actually read the first line of the Ultimate Spider-Man, and it was pretty. I think the big benefit is that people have a brand new jumping on point.
And I've said for years I wanted DC to do that, but I wanted the Marvel version of it where it was just a modern interpretation, not this.
Yeah. Yeah.
They went really, really far out of left field with this. And I don't know what the new Marvel version is doing, if they're doing something closer to this, or if it's still just a modern starting on point or jumping on point.
The first volume of Spider-Man that I read was pretty. I mean, it was Spider-Man we pretty much knew.
Okay.
Just in a little slightly different lens, but not as different as this.
Yeah.
So, this is definitely a radical difference to the norm. But yeah,
I'll let you talk now.
Yeah, I will tell you what I have started doing because I see this book is sort of like each volume feels like a different genre of a movie, like different movie genres. Mm-hmm. Volume 1 of this book was a really like an action thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 2 in pretty much the entire running, issues 7 through 14, is a horror movie.
Body horror.
A lot of body horror.
Yeah.
And I really like that we're switching tones like that, because I think it keeps it fresh and it keeps you engaged with something a little. There's action elements absolutely throughout the book.
Fresh is very understated with this book.
Yeah.
I mean, it is different.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I think that's honestly is the biggest hook for me right now is what is the next wild thing they're going to do, because it has just gotten crazier and crazier as it's gone along. And it really feels like there's no guardrails for this story. It feels like they're just like, do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going there.
We could honestly have a whole episode just on the Absolute line in general, more than just talking about the Bane arc, because it is pretty fascinating what they're doing and how they're doing it. And so after Bane, is that the Joker arc?
Yes.
And then it goes to like all the Robin stuff, which is happening now.
Yeah, correct. There was an interlude with Poison Ivy too, which she was part of the Joker arc, but we'll get there maybe one day. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what I've started doing, and I'm semi-current. So I've finished the Joker arc. I am not reading the current arc until they kind of get like 5 or 6 issues in, because I've realized that I like reading this when I can binge read it, when I can
Yes.
read 5, 6 issues at a time.
I'm just looking to see, for my own curiosity, what's on Ultra right now. And it goes up to 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know when they'll have, like, I like that they have the collected editions
Yeah,
on.
volume 3 is not on there
It's
yet.
not up there yet. So when that pops up there, I think that'll be a good time to read it if you're waiting. Kind of like you do, like you're not going to hop in issue by issue. I think it's perfect to hop in when you've got that collected edition
Yeah,
of
I'm
DC
curious when
Universe.
they do it on here, because this says volume 2 came out February 3rd. I don't know if these get released when they actually come out, or is it a month later? Probably.
I
I would
think
assume it's a month
it's
later.
on a
So
delay.
whenever volume 3 gets released, at the comic shop, it'll probably be a month later.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm still enjoying it quite immensely. I mean, I'm picking up each issue at the comic shop, so I haven't canceled my pull yet. So that should tell you something. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I will say, and I think I might have said this on the first episode where we covered Volume 1, not my preferred version of anything. Like nothing in these stories are my preferred version. But knowing that it's not replacing anything in the main continuity, I'm like, fine, go nuts, Scott Snyder. Let's see it. And it's keeping me intrigued enough. I think if like this, kind of like what you were saying, if they had relaunched Batman and this was the relaunch and the only version of Batman we were getting, I would probably hate this.
Yeah.
Just to be honest. But knowing that it's not, that this is just another take that you don't have to read to enjoy the main continuity if you don't want to, that sells it for me. Because it's just like, not just like Elseworlds, because this is kind of running parallel with our main continuity, but it's another world, so why not go zany?
And I think the reason I'm struggling with it is I'm thinking to myself now, if this was just a volume 1 of a new Batman story, and Scott Snyder was writing it, but it was pretty on point with the mythos, would I enjoy it more? And I truly believe the answer would be yes. I don't think I'm enjoying this as much as I'm curious while I'm reading.
That's fair.
And the writing is good. So it keeps me intrigued. It's not a poorly written story. But I'm just so intrigued by what they're going to do next that I keep reading. Where, like, I tried reading the new Batman #1 last time. I couldn't get past the first issue because I didn't know what the heck was going on. So I thought to myself, that was a better issue, though. Like, I enjoyed that more. But I have no interest in going back to that because it wasn't the Batman I felt like reading. Because I'm so far out of touch with that Batman. Where this one, I might not even enjoy it. But I get this Batman. I've read it from issue 1. So that is a problem. And
to your point, if it would have just been like the Batman we know, but slightly different, I don't think you would have ever gotten Scott Snyder back.
No, and I don't think you'd have I don't know if you'd have the popularity, because I think this has gotten good press, like no press is bad press. Like even the people that hate this got it out of curiosity.
Well, and it to me, it shows the evolution of where we were with Scott Snyder with the New 52, with the version of Batman he wrote there,
which is essentially what we want now.
Yeah,
to
but
a lesser degree.
If you read some of the books that Scott Snyder has written outside of the superhero genre between the time of the New 52 and now, everything you're getting in here, this is Scott Snyder. Yeah. This is what he does. He loves horror books. He loves the dark and the scary and the just like worst possible scenarios you can imagine. Yeah. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And there were tastes of that in his New 52 Batman. But this is just like, this is the natural evolution of everything I've read from Scott Snyder since he left DC.
Yeah.
Um, I think he's such a popular comics writer. I think that's what people are here for. And by osmosis, it's getting people to read the other Absolute titles.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's what it is. Those titles are good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think they would be selling like they are unless this book was here. I'm like,
Yeah, I think I agree with that. They were smart putting this one out first, getting the good word,
yeah,
getting it out there. I mean, even for me, yeah, like that was always the enticing part for me with Scott Snyder because I am a fan, obviously.
mm-hmm.
And if they put this out and it wasn't good, I mean, it's a weird thing to say because obviously, um, if this was a gimmick that wasn't well written,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been scrapped pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Or it would have been like a limited series type of thing. So yeah, it's a hard thing for me because I really don't know what is grabbing me. Is it the curiosity? Is it the fact that I do actually enjoy reading it? I think I enjoy parts of it. It's just so weird. It really is. But it's again, if you're gonna do it, you might as well go for it. And I do kind of like that. I
Yeah.
like that it is so bonkers and so out there. Um,
Well, let's talk about it a little
Bane.
further.
How do you go crazier with Bane? Like,
They do here.
yeah.
Let's get into it without the guardrails of spoilers. So let's get beyond the spoiler wall. This is your warning. If you haven't read Absolute Batman Volume 2, go do so. Come back and check with us. And let's get into it. So we're not going to go beat by beat through the story because it's 8 issues
Yeah.
of heavy comics dialogue and story. But we're going to go through the high points. So Joe, just to get into it, we know like Batman is pretty beat up at the beginning of this story from the battle with Black Mask
Mm-hmm.
and everything that happened in Volume 1. He's got a broken arm. So which he's got a freaking cast that he has put tech into that Alfred doesn't know about. Kind of hilarious. Very that part very Batman. But we get straight into the body horror very early on in issue 7 because, well, first of all, we get Matches Malone, but not as a like an alias of Bruce Wayne, his undercover character, but an actual character. What did you think of that? Of making Matches Malone an actual character?
Yeah, again, just playing with the mythos a little bit, playing with your expectations. But I liked it. I again, not something I would have expected or not something I would have done, but I do like just kind of toying with us a little bit. And I mean, Matches Malone is a pretty, I think Batman fans know that, but I don't know if casuals know who Matches Malone is. So it's again just kind of a fun nod to something that's been around for a long time, but isn't something that people are going to be mad that it was changed, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like the nod to the history of Matches Malone by putting him in. But man, so we learned a little bit about this place Arc M in the first volume, but in this volume we really get into the story of Arc M and what it is, and we figure out that it's a place where people are being they're being whisked off to. It's a sort of a pseudo prison. They're experimenting on people here, and we figure out early in the story that Matches Malone is a friend of the core group we know, like Waylon Jones and Ozzy and Bruce Wayne and all these guys. And apparently he's had some sketchy past, which kind of fits into the Matches Malone mythos. But he's passed away. And in this first issue, we're having kind of a memorial for him between the friends. And we figure out that Bruce is the last one to see him. And the way that Matches dies,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Like bleeds out through his skin or whatever the heck you want to call that. Disintegrates through his skin.
Yeah, all of his pores basically open up and he bleeds out. That's like the first indicator that holy crap, this is gonna be ramped up a little bit from volume 1.
Well, so I mean, that was the surprise for me was it starts with Victor Freeze. I did not know that they were going to have a Mr. Freeze.
Junior.
Yes.
Yeah.
They play with that a little bit.
Yeah, so we get a backstory of the absolute Mr. Freeze, and he is actually he's the main villain of issue 1, and he's the son of Victor and Nora Freeze, who are the ones who are actually frozen this time. Victor and Nora are frozen. And we learn that Victor Jr. had this disorder that they tried to freeze him with, and it altered his cells, and he's become this ice creature that kills people by touch, because he attacks Bruce Wayne and he's like freezing him from the inside out, basically. Is that the gist you got from it?
Yeah, that's the one that I read really early on. So it's been a while since I read that. I'm just looking at it now. And I don't think so. I really enjoyed the first arc, that first 2 issues. I think
Yeah.
I thought that was just one issue. But I was confused because I was like, all right, I thought this was a Bane arc. And then I start with the Mr. Freeze stuff, which I really enjoyed the Mr. Freeze stuff because I thought it was a really cool take on it, really different. Instead of having the Nora stuff, it was his parents, and like just a good little play on it.
Yeah, but essentially, like, Matches Malone has got Bruce access to Arkham, and that's where he sneaks into Arkham to see what's going on there, and he ends up encountering Mr. Freeze, and we learn that Arkham is basically the place where all of these creatures, these monsters, are being created. So throughout that, we're introduced to Bane. Well, first of all, before we're even introduced to Bane, we learn that Waylon Jones has been kidnapped by these folks and taken to Arkham. So we kind of have an idea of what's going to happen to Waylon Jones from this point going forward. But we know we're introduced to Bane in this book. Bane is even bigger than we ever see him in the mainline comics. So first of all, just what do you think of the introduction of Bane in this story? What do you think of the design of Bane?
Again, face value, it looks like garbage. But for this type of story, it works for the insanity of it. There is nothing real world about this book. I mean, at one point, do they say Bruce weighs 410 pounds?
Oh, I don't remember him being that big.
It was something ridiculous. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, they were doing something to him and they give his weight and it's something insane. And I'm like, what the heck am I looking at right now? I'm trying to find it because it was really bizarre to me. But yeah, I mean, the original Bane look in the comics was already pretty bizarre. And they just took that again and just kept going. So it says sedated male presented at 6'9", 421 pounds.
Oh, well, I get, yeah.
So what? Like what? Okay. Listen, even if he's 6'9", 421 pounds, pretty big.
Yeah.
But we'll go with that. Sure. Okay. So again, there's nothing real world about this. Like it is completely off the rails with everything it does.
Mm-hmm.
The design of Bane before he pumps the venom into himself at the one point. I mean, it's just, again, I don't know. None of the designs at face value work at all. But while you're reading the book, you just kind of go with it because everything is fair game.
They work in this world.
Yeah.
I think is the biggest thing you can say is, I mean, it fits this world. I mean, his introduction where he's talking to the warlords and he crushes one of their skulls in his hand is just, I mean, it's pretty Bane, but dialed to 11. So, but yeah, so we get Catwoman in this story. We get the
most normal looking one out of any of the characters, I think.
Yeah, but I kind of like that her outfit, her suit, her helmet is already tech we've seen in this world.
Yes.
I
but
like
it's
that.
Not so the cover that we originally were introduced to her with, they show it at an angle that makes it more bizarre than it really is.
Yeah, because it's the Black Mask tech that we see in the first volume.
But there's an alternate cover by Art Germ Artgerm. Is it Artgerm Lao or Artgerm something? That's in uh the collected edition is really a great artwork and a great cover for Catwoman.
Yeah. We get multiple battles between Batman and Bane early in the volume because, of course, with his sneaking into Arkham, he's captured by Bane.
Mm-hmm.
Bane basically beats the crap out of him, and they prep Batman for surgery. So Bruce Batman is going to basically be Bane's replacement through the story, is what we learn. There's this mysterious man in white that we keep hearing about, and he's pulling the strings of Arkham, and he's basically Bane is his lapdog.
Mm-hmm.
And he's looking for the next version of him. And Bane's goal is to be able to escape this and to go back to his life, which is still Santa Prisca.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's still sort of
his origin is pretty close.
Similar, yeah, very, very similar. But he has a family in this story.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what he's trying to get back to, is his family.
If you said it, I was actually looking up that cover. Who is it that runs Arkham? Do they say his name?
If
you know it from a next arc, then don't say it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil
because they don't
things.
reveal who it is. Correct?
They call him the Man in White.
Okay. This I don't know if you can see this. Oh, yeah, that's the cover. I think that's a really cool cover, and she looks pretty traditional there. The mask is obviously the Black mask, but it's not as accentuated as the other one.
Right. Yeah, but in the end, so while Bruce is escaping, we see a lot of terrifying stuff in Arkham. Like we see hints at Poison Ivy, because we see that there's a room with the green inside it, which looks like it's made up of like different plantized people who look terrifying.
And while you keep saying Arkham, that drives me nuts. Just call it Arkham. Like, like that's the stuff where it's like you don't have to change everything just to change it. Just call it Arkham.
I get it. It doesn't bother me, but I get where you're coming from.
I read it as Arkham. I don't even differentiate.
We also figure out what has happened to Waylon Jones in this story. And he has officially become Killer Croc, or the absolute version of Killer Croc. I'm be honest, I'm with you on most of the designs where they're a little out there, and I'm not crazy about them, but it fits the world. I love this design for Killer Croc.
I mean, he just looks like a big crocodile, though. So like, it's actually, you could argue it's more of the straightforward version, right? Like,
but he looks like a dragon. He's so long, and and his teeth like go down his neck. It's
I didn't even notice that.
It's wild. But yeah, so Killer Croc is in this world, but he's still not like a villain, which is so interesting. He still
doesn't lose his humanity to the full extent.
No, and he's still there to help Bruce. There's one shot that is such a good, and I'm trying to remember which issue it's in. It's when they're escaping from Arkham, him and Batman and Croc.
Yeah,
Batman is riding Killer Croc.
Yes,
it's like a splash page. That is such a cool piece of art.
Well, so did you ever go back and look at what I was talking about as how the one issue confused the heck out of me?
Yes, and I feel like you missed something somewhere.
Yeah, like, is it all I definitely missed something. I admitted that, because they're talking about like all this stuff happened in the Batman, and he rips his arm off at one point.
Yeah, I know.
Is that so like a premonition?
There is an issue, the one you're talking about. There's an issue where Alfred is explaining what Bane can do, and basically everything that you're
seeing, like a fear.
It's what Alfred fears is going to happen to Batman.
Yeah, that went right over my head.
Yeah,
because the prior issue ends with Waylon coming in to help Bruce, and you assume he's coming in to rescue Bruce, and then the next issue starts, And I get that, like, maybe it was supposed to be a different time frame, but when the whole thing happens with him ripping off his arm, I'm like, oh man, like stuff is going down in this issue. And then the next issue starts with Croc rescuing Bruce. I'm like, wait a second, did none of that stuff happen?
Yeah. So the biggest indicator there, and
This is the artwork.
what the artwork is constantly shifting
Yeah.
in that story. So it's different artists for like every other page.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that entire issue is basically like they've taken Michael Caine's Batman monologue from The Dark Knight Rises, like
Yeah.
telling Bruce about all the heinous things Bane's done, and turned it into an entire issue of a comic where Alfred is just terrified of what's going to happen to Batman.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I if you didn't catch that's what's going on, I could see where that was confusing.
Yeah, because I still feel like they don't make it that clear.
Yeah, because that issue,
Because it's a whole flashback. It's telling you Bane's origin. So it's not like, I don't know. It felt very inconsistent to me. Where why are we like we're there to listen to Bane's origin, but now we're seeing all this stuff happen to Bruce, and I what you're saying makes sense. I just didn't grasp that.
gotcha. Yeah, and they actually point it out. I think you would really just have to hone in on it, but they pointed out that it's a possible. It's kind of like Cyborg clicking into the Superman ship and seeing the possible future going on there.
So he says in the splash page, he says, "He'll have a plan for you." Um. Oh, okay. You'll have a plan for him, just like the plans he drew up when he was that boy on Santa Prisca. A plan based on the knowledge of this place because this is your home, Gotham. The island was his, so fight him. But then it just goes right into that fight. And I see what you're saying with the art now. Like, it does look like this is what could be. But Alfred's monologue is like he's watching the fight. So that's why it really did throw me off.
Yeah, yeah. So that and that's exactly what it is he's because there's a page like right after they show him because they show Batman as this new version of Bane close to the end of the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the next page, you're still out there somewhere, unbroken, safe for now. I know it, and he knows it too. So, I mean, it's telling you this hasn't happened yet, but this is what can happen and probably will.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get why you're confused, but when I read back through it, I was like, this is not what Joe was describing to me. So.
It was confusing.
Anyway,
yeah, it's Alfred basically saying you have to become Bane to beat Bane.
Right.
And that is the whole thing by the end. Alfred wants him to use the Venom, and Bruce is trying really hard not to.
Right. Correct. So later in the book, we find out, which I think is the most horrifying part of the entire book, is what Bane has done to Bruce's friends.
Penguin, oh man.
Oh gosh. He's mutilated Oz and Harvey and Edward.
Yeah. I mean, so Harvey to me is pretty standard Two-Face.
Yeah.
For this world.
So far, we haven't seen the full reveal of him, but we know his face is burned and half of his body is burned. Ozzy looks horrible.
He looks like, what the heck am I trying to think of? Oh, you know what he looks like? The disfigured version of Elastigirl or Elasti-Woman in Doom Patrol.
Oh, yeah. When she's all like melted and stuff. Yeah.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah, it kind of looks like he has elephantitis or something. He's just, yeah. But yeah, so and you kind of see like they do little flashbacks of him just like beating the crap out and hurting all three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which the weird part is that Edward kind of wanted it. Like they lead you to believe like Edward wanted to be this, what he's made him, which his design is, it's the one I will fully agree with you. I don't like it. It's
You don't like,
weird. It's got like his brain exposed and
yeah, it's like a Bane version of Riddler almost.
yeah, yeah, not my jam. I like that they've kind of got because I think he's the closest to what his at this point. I think he's the closest to what normal Riddler is
Personality wise, at that point.
personality
Yeah.
wise. But his design is really weird. So, yeah. So, but um, there's still, except for Oz, because we don't really know anything from Oz now. He's basically in a vegetable state
Yeah.
at this point.
We don't get much from Harvey either.
Except he blames Bruce.
Yes.
He 100% blames Bruce. So they are kind of setting up his villain arc.
Mhm.
But Riddler seems like he's on Bruce's side. Um, Croc is certainly on Bruce's side.
Yeah.
Catwoman is on his side. So we've still got those partnerships going on. We're also introduced to Harley Quinn in this book. Near the end, we're introduced to Harley Quinn, who is the leader of the Red Hood gang in the Absolute Universe. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that was fun. We don't get too much going on with that, but yeah, that was a fun little thing I didn't expect. To see Harley before we technically see Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which I don't think they're going to be connected in this universe. It doesn't seem like.
Okay, yeah, I don't know because I haven't read the next one. I would assume.
Well, I mean, they introduce her first, and
Yeah.
she's got a gang already, which is the Red Hood gang. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to connect them like they normally do. But her design, I think the cool thing about this Harley design is I could see the normal Harley doing this at some point. Like I could see Harley Quinn buzzing her head ball or into like a crew cut. So she's not, I don't think she's as extreme as some of the other designs.
No, I think you could argue it's extreme because her hair being the multicolored hair and all that is pretty iconic for her.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, she still has the plaid, what are the argyle stuff, and you know all that stuff. I mean,
the diamonds,
yeah. The other thing I wanted to point out, and I can't remember when it was. I feel like it was early in the book. There is a Robin nod early in the book, correct?
Yeah, Dick Grayson is in
He's
it.
an EMT?
No, he's
what was he?
He's
a driver, an ambulance?
Yeah,
driver?
he's driving one of those what do you call them? They're basically the bicycle with a wagon on the back. He's a kid in the streets. He's basically doing this to make money. But there's a situation where all the ambulances in the city have been maxed out.
Yes, that's right. So
they're even using like ride shares, and they've maxed those out. So he's helping get people to the hospital in this cart thing. But yeah, so in the end, this leads us all to a big confrontation because Bruce has been implanted with Venom. So Bane's ultimate goal is to get him to use this venom so that he can basically Hulk out like Bane is, and he can go on his merry way and be replaced.
Yeah, it seems like they're almost doing like an evolution thing where like testing has gone so far with Bane, they need another recipient now of the testing. So once they find someone that can withstand the venom, which Bruce has been able to do, he found his replacement.
Yeah. And so it all culminates in Bane using this last ditch effort to get Batman to try to activate this venom, which is a huge battle that is televised and is in this big arena. And Bane pretty much unleashes everything he's got and becomes pretty much a kaiju. He is just as big as you've never seen Bane this crazy. He's like 10 times bigger than the Hulk in this stadium.
The Abomination.
And Batman, with the help of the Red Hood gang and with the help of Killer Croc, takes him out. I mean, just brutalizes him, takes him out, uses his axe basically to cut off his supply of venom in his spine.
Like cuts his spine out or something, doesn't he? Like
and lets him know that he has he's never used the venom. In fact, he
Mhm.
had it removed from his body.
Yeah.
So I think that I wondered the first time I read this arc, I wondered if that was going to be the new twist on Batman, is Batman's just jacked up on venom. But no, they're sticking to the point that Batman doesn't need it. He's not going to use it. So
And
it's
that's the
removed from
stuff
his
where I'm
body.
still like, I'm sure people would prefer it this way. I'm always torn on that where it's like, all right, we're going so crazy. Batman has an axe. Batman is doing all this crazy stuff. He's going against all these crazy villains. But the two things, like, he still won't kill and he won't use venom because that's crossing a line. So it's like we still have those core elements that need to be there for people to accept this. Where I'm kind of like, I don't know if we're going crazy.
Well, I see what you're saying, but at the same time, I do want this to be fundamentally Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's not fundamentally Batman, then why put the name on the book?
I get it, but I also, is it fundamentally Batman at this point? Like, yes, I guess core values, yes, it is.
I think the spirit of the character is
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So as wild as it is, the spirit is still there. So
Even though he just totally ripped out the insides of Bane,
but it didn't kill him.
because he knew it wouldn't kill him because he's
Yeah.
Batman.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, so he's defeated Bane. So we're
Bane is literally just a brain and eyes, and
which Batman did not do that.
okay.
So that
Well,
we figure out at the end of the book that Bane has been reacquired by the folks at Arc M.
we technically don't know that Batman didn't do that. I mean, he ripped them apart.
Yeah, but he
That might have
wasn't
just been the only salvageable parts of him.
maybe. But yeah, to your point, he's a brain and eyeballs and part of a spine, but he is regrowing. And we find out at the very end of this book,
real quick. So that is Bane that's in the back of the pickup truck, right?
In the back of the pickup truck.
The dump truck, sorry.
Oh.
He throws Bane's like just bleh of a thing.
Yeah.
And dumps it off.
Yeah.
At Arkham.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's...
Yeah, so Batman did do this.
Yeah, like, again, that's the like stuff where it's like, oh yeah, he didn't kill him. He's a pile of mush on the ground. It literally says sploosh.
Sploosh, yeah.
But he didn't kill him. He's still alive.
So I think the darkest part, though, of the book is right there on the last page, when Bane is this brain and the eyes and the spinal cord floating in the tank, and we figure out that that the man in white is there on a laptop screen. He's talking to Bane, and basically he tells him there's no reason to return to Santa Prisca because I bombed the island. Your family's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So all of this that Bane has done to try to get back to his family was for this man in white just to kill them.
And I mean, it's leading me to believe that the man in white is Joker. It says JKR right there on the screen. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I know I've seen the design of Joker for the covers, and he looks, like a baned version of the Joker or some weird looking creature. So I don't know what to believe with that, but that's how I took it. That's like the, whether it be the Jack Napier version of Joker first.
Well, we're in the spoiler section, so I mean, I'll go ahead and say that JKR is on the screen. It says at the bottom of the screen, next Joker. So yes, the man in white is Joker.
Yeah. So I actually kind of like that. And again, I haven't started reading the next arc. If that is the case where they actually make the Joker more of a like an intelligent manipulator, or like a strategist, would be kind of interesting. But yeah, we'll see, because I don't know what the hell's going on in that cover of Batman.
Well, for that, it's not really a spoiler because you already know. I mean, yes, he has been pulling the strings.
Yeah, but then obviously something happens to him to make him look like the cover of Batman 15.
Yeah. So and Batman 15 is fascinating. I'll tell you that. It's it's interesting.
And I guess is Batman Arc M a tie-in? What is that?
That is a one shot.
Okay.
And it's like a special, but I didn't want to cover it here because it's not part of volume 2. Like if you pull volume 2,
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to ask you. When does it fit in?
yeah, so if you pull volume 2, it doesn't really pick up this book. It takes place technically between the end of volume 2 and issue 15.
Oh, okay. So I'll read that
Yeah.
next then. Okay.
Yeah. So you
I'm
read
just looking
Arkham
at.
and
Then
then you go.
there's an annual,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
which
it's its
actually
own line.
takes place prior. The annual was released prior to Arc M.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to go through all this. Sorry, we're just kind of talking now and recording.
Yeah, you're good. So yeah, that's Batman volume or absolute Batman volume 2 Abomination. There is so many little details that we just don't have time to
Oh
dive
yeah.
into, quite frankly. There's so much world building in these books. Lots of little neat details with lots of cameos from people that you or names that you know from the mainline Batman comics, and so many Easter eggs. So it's a lot of fun. It's wild and wacky and zany. And again, we can just put this in our final thoughts category, Joe. This is again just to drive the point home. I would despise this if this was the only Batman book we have. Like if this was the mainline Batman book, I would not be crazy about it. But knowing that I can read this and then go back and read the mainline Batman anytime I want to, I think that just makes it so much more fun because it's like, okay, it's a completely different world for Batman. And they've been very frank about everything that happens in the absolute universe is the darkest version of the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is, it's spun out of was it Absolute Power?
Yeah,
I
something like
think
that.
it's spun out of Absolute Power. So this world basically blossomed into existence out of the darkest portions of
Well,
everything DC.
I can kind of push back on. We've already had the dark, Crisis stuff and the Dark Knight's Metal. That was a lot darker than this,
Was it?
as far as the versions of Batman go.
Well, maybe Batman, but his villains are pretty dark.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just I don't know. It's a fun take on
It
Batman.
is, and ironically, I agree with what you just said. But the ironic part is, I'm not reading the main line. So why does that even affect me? You know what I mean?
Well, and I barely am. Honestly, I'm not as current on the main line as I am
Yeah.
on this one.
Yeah. I'm
But
having
that's
more fun going back and reading stuff that I've missed over the last few years. And that's the hard part, is because there were so many rough runs of Batman when I fell off, it would
Mhm.
take me too long to catch back up again now. And runs that I don't want to read. And when the things that are kind of essential to knowing happened in runs that you don't want to read, that makes it really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And that's honestly that's why it's been a little hard for me to keep up with the mainline Batman book. Even though I have enjoyed what I've read from it,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of stuff that I'm still like this feels like
Homework.
pulling from the homework a little
Yeah.
bit. It feels like pulling from the runs I didn't want to read. So
Yeah.
why do I want to I don't know. Why do I want to keep going here?
Yeah.
Um but I don't have that problem here.
No.
This is a brand new world. So yeah, having said that, I'm still enjoying it. I'm going to keep reading it. I'm very curious what your thoughts are if you move on to the next to the next arc.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll talk about it at some point on here. But um, Joe, we have a very special announcement. But I wanted to give you any. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say about Absolute Batman, or have you given your thoughts there?
No, I mean, I think it'll actually kind of go into our announcement here. But like I said, I'm reading other things a lot right now. I've really gotten into Daredevil and
Mm-hmm.
reading a lot of the Daredevil runs that you recommended to me. And so I stopped to read this. The minute I finished this, I went right back to reading Daredevil. And I'll probably get back to to this and finish the Joker arc, but then I saw that Wonder Woman shows up in one of the issues. So do I need to read Absolute Wonder Woman before I read that? If that's the case, then it's going to already start to kind of make it a little bit more like homework for me. And I'm enjoying, some other stuff for a change. I've read a lot of Batman stuff over the years, and Batman
Yeah.
is my number one. I've read more Batman stuff than any other character. So it is fun to kind of get back into other stuff. I mean, one of my favorite things I've ever read is the Green Lantern run by Jeff Johns. And that was kind of just on its own. Again, I found a place to start. And that's always the hard part with comics that you're not familiar with, is finding a place to start.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
Well, to answer your question, no, you do not need to read all of Absolute Wonder Woman to understand that book. So there you go. But yeah, to Joe's point, this is going to lead into the announcement, big announcement for the show. So changes are coming to TFR.
Good changes, not sad changes or anything like that.
No, nothing that we've had to like make a big change because of life events or anything like that. Basically, the change is coming because there's more fun stuff that we want to do.
That we both wanted to do that didn't talk about. Like, you brought it to me, and I was like, man, I've been thinking about that for a while, and I'm so happy you thought about it.
Yeah. So the long and short of it is there's so many things that Joe and I talk about regularly that we're passionate about, that we really love, that we would love to talk about for a podcast episode. But, it is so cool that some folks have all these outlets and can do multiple podcasts, but I do not have the bandwidth to do it. Joe does not have the bandwidth to do it.
No.
We have one podcast. That is enough. With that being said, this show is going to morph a little bit. While Batman will always be the central figure of this show, it will always be the thing that centers us and then we come back to. There will be plenty of Batman talk every single year, I promise, as long as this show continues. But there's going to be a change to where we're going to start talking about other things that we really enjoy that I think deserve some time too. I'm a huge Daredevil fan. Joe was just talking about he's been reading a lot of Daredevil. I read Daredevil constantly. I read as much Daredevil as I do Batman. There was a new TV show, Daredevil Born Again, that I've been aching to talk about and don't have an outlet to do so. There are things that we talk about frequently that we're like, this would be a cool podcast episode, but we don't have a podcast to talk about it on.
Yeah. So I've actually in my head thought about, and I have no desire to start my own podcast or to take that on another thing that we barely have enough time to do the episodes we do on here. Yeah. And all it would be is me starting an episode or starting a podcast and being like, Eric, you want to talk about this? or someone else that we could just as easily invite on here.
Exactly.
I'm a big Ninja Turtles guy. Huge. Like I started getting into the original run of them recently, and it's just stuff like that. I mean, we both have so much interest in other things, even movies. I mean, I don't know if we'll get into all types of movies or just strictly superheroes and comic books or pop, whatever.
So my plan, and this is an evolving plan, guys. So this is going to change. Who knows what this is going to look like a year from now. My plan, though, is Batman is the central figure of this show, but the subtitle of this show is no longer going to be a Batman podcast. We're keeping the Fire Rises. We're keeping the roots where we came from. But this show is going to be a geeky pop culture podcast. So we're going to cover basically what Joe and I want to cover at any given moment.
And we apologize if that, is stupid or if nobody wants to listen. Again, me and Eric just want to talk. And that's really what it comes down to, sadly.
And it's not. I think it's fun. I think this is going to open up a lot of opportunities for us to have more fun. But so. Here's what you can expect. You can expect us to talk a lot about Batman, a lot about DC. You can also expect us to talk about Daredevil and Spider-Man, and basically what if there's a TMNT topic that Joe wants to talk about, which I know there's several that he's been dying to talk about for years. If I'll be honest with you, when I go see Godzilla -0 later this year, I'm probably going to want to talk about it.
And honestly, it's going to be it's probably going to bring more content because we hit a lot of lulls the last year where we really didn't have anything Batman we wanted to talk about. So,
well, and
Batman stuff to talk about, we're going to talk about that first.
And let's be 100% honest. There is a lot of Batman podcasts out there that do it really, really well. Holy Batcast does it so well. The Batman Book Club does it so well. At certain points, there is that lull in content for everybody to do, and it feels like we're all doing the same episode of something. So that's another driver behind this. So yeah, this podcast is changing a little bit. But again,
and not for nothing too, we're going to be on Anything Goes soon and talking about Batman comics with Tim.
We are. So, we sure are. So there's going to be plenty of Batman, but that's the announcement, guys. So for right now, no changes to the emails or anything like that. Promo codes all stay the same, but we just want to let you guys know that's going to be how we morph. You may hear slightly different intros. There may be some cool stuff we do with the show art here and there. But yeah, so that's the big announcement. Look for different fun stuff from us going forward. And if you're purely a Batman fan and don't want to hear other crap, I hope we haven't lost you with that. But we'd love to have you along for the ride. So with that, Joe, that's all I got. You got anything you'd like to add?
No, I was so happy when you were like, I got an idea. And I'm like, I love it. I really did. I was so happy you suggested it. There was never any, how's that going to work? Or how are we going to do it? I was just so excited.
You were the Flash, basically. Stop right there.
Yeah. Because we do talk about this stuff all the time, just in text. And I would like to actually spend an hour and actually discuss this stuff with you like we do all this other stuff. I mean, it would be much more fun. Born Again season 2 just ended last night, and I'm dying to talk about it with you. So that would be my, without ruining it, that would be a perfect first episode for this new venture.
Very good chance that may be the first of the new.
So we'll
new
see
batch.
where the next couple weeks goes. I mean, we might get a trailer in the next couple weeks with something. Who the heck knows? But yeah, I'm looking forward to all this.
Awesome. Same here. Well, until then, Joe, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you out there on social media?
You can find me on X, Instagram, Letterboxd, J411, and Facebook as Joe Fornerato, FORNAROTTO.
Awesome. And as for myself, you can find my personal accounts on most of the social media platforms out there. Just search MeCarter89, MECarter89. The show can be found on Twitter, X, they're the same thing. X, Threads, Blue Sky, Facebook. Just search tfrbatpod. Again, if you have thoughts or questions, suggestions for episodes, especially with the new format we're going into, send us emails. Just shoot those to tfrbatpod@gmail.com. If you're looking for a way to support the show, the best, easiest, and free way you can do that is to leave us a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. If you do listen to us on Apple Podcasts, leave us a written review there. We'll read those on the show. Our theme song was created by the very talented Gaurav Venkateswar, and his music is at gvtunes.com. Our logos were created by Justin Kowalski, and you can find those at redbubble.com. Search Shop TFR, all one word. Our logos are on all kinds of cool stuff there. That's going to do it for this episode of TFR. Thank you guys so much for joining us. For Joe, I'm Eric, and until next time, make sure you keep that bat signal lit and pointed skyward. Batman was created by Bill Finger and Bob Kane and is the sole property of Warner Brothers Discovery. The Fire Rises, a Batman podcast, is in no way associated with DC Comics, DC Studios, or Warner Brothers Discovery. The thoughts and opinions of the participants of this show are their own and do not reflect the companies that they work for. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next episode.